Hello, afternoon, evening, morning. How's everybody doing out there? Welcome to the Sunday show. It's Arsenal Fan Circle, and we are back more on a regular pace now. The first part of this summer was European Championships, and some of our players have gone deep into the European Championships, and as a consequence of that, we will talk about it. But there's a number of players, Lawrence, who are not going to be on the plane, and the plane's flying out today.
Yeah, I bet Anne Hathaway's excited her boyfriend's coming over.
Leandra Trossard, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
how are you?
I'm sorry?
Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Well, I was just saying, people saying, oh, it's not going to be the full Arsenal squad, but I just looked at the squad. There's like 13 first-team players who are coming out, which isn't bad,
Yeah, we'll be able to pick a team for you, Lawrence, for the first game against Bournemouth, and then maybe for the game against Man United is the next game after that. Reddy's, let's say hello to Reddy. Reddy's in the house. Evening, gents. Hope you're all well. Glad that Arsenal are almost back. And Arsenal are back now almost. It's 4 weeks away now till the season. Can you believe that? Only 4 weeks to go. Gary, how you doing?
Hi, Gary.
Okay. He's figuring some things out.
I was just saying, Ray, I said there hasn't been a break at all, I mean, as I said, last season finished. We went straight into the Euros. That's over and done with. Now we're into pre-season again. It's just mad.
And the demands on our players are...
Check. All right.
Gotcha. Can you hear us?
Yeah. Sorry about that. Right. Yeah. Cool.
Hello. Welcome, Gary. How are you today, Gary?
I'm doing good.
Arsenal season started yesterday, maybe, right? With that behind the closed doors game against Leyton Orient.
Season starts in August. I don't know what you're talking about. This is called. This is a different part. This is transfer season.
Right?
You mean transfers? Transfer season? Yeah. This is a summer window. Yeah. Summer window.
I'd like to think the Arsenal season starts now, but it could be our first argument of the season, Gary.
Yes. You and of course you were wrong again.
Well, it's Gary. It's day 41 of the transfer window, but at Arsenal it's Sunday, the 21st of July.
All right.
Hey, everybody's complaining about how much business we're not doing. There's not that much business going on that is affecting us in terms of winning a title at the end of next year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Aston Villa have signed 6 players already.
You think
everyone else has signed?
Does that affect us from winning the league?
Well,
that's an easy question. That's a yes or no question. Does it affect us from winning the league?
They all have. Careful, Gary. I'll get the crayons out in a minute. I'm just. What I'm getting at is every other team got their ducks lined up in a row and know who they're going to get. We're still struggling to get an Italian defender over the line.
That's not.
I
was telling my wife this.
That's all.
The man was on vacation, and you know what? The deal wasn't held up because of us. So everybody complained, Arsenal, why are you doing so slow? Like, Bologna wants more money, and it has nothing to do with what we've offered. Right? For me, Calafiori, you can complain of time, but it had nothing to do with Arsenal. The other players that we might want to bring in, that might be a case, but Calafiori, I don't think that was anything else but Bologna wanting more money that they're not going to get from us because they've already agreed. The money is right. They just want more money, and Basel is supposed to pay them for it, but they don't. Basel doesn't have to do it. So for me, it was a waiting game because the man was on vacation. Right? Nothing was going to happen anyways. Even if he signed, we would still be sitting here going, "What's going on? Why is Arsenal diddling their thumbs?" They're not going to do it until they get, one, the physical, two, the signing, all the media and all that stuff, right? He's probably going to, I don't know if he's going to go to England first and then fly to USA or what. You know what I mean? Because typically that's what happens, right? They go to England, they do the physical,
Medical, yeah.
then they sign the paperwork, they do the media, and then they ship them off and say, go to California, meet up with the guys, right? So, you know,
Yeah, I think it might.
I feel like a little bit. Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like a little bit, at least for that one, a little bit of patience. If you're saying we didn't get other players, I got it, but not Calafiori. I think is the best that could have been done, is what it was. You know, players that have been playing in Euros and stuff, you got to wait for them to get off vacation. Like if we were selling Ramsdale right now, right? Ramsdale's off for 3 weeks. Anybody expect the deal to happen in those 3 weeks? No, he's on unless he wants it. He doesn't have to rush that thing. You know what I mean? So.
Yep. Yeah, indeed. Want to do the intros, Gary? Usually welcome people in.
Hello, everybody in the chat. Welcome to the show. I see you got Riddy's in the house. Sam's in the house. AFC always in the house. Welcome. I think that's it for now. Yeah.
Listen, all of these guys here in the chat, they know the Arsenal season started yesterday, Gary. But anyway. Yes, welcome, Sam. How are you doing? Setford straight on the plane to America. I hope we see him play. Interesting prospect. He may play that Bournemouth game, and then maybe Carl Hein will take the United game, and they might split him up that way. Gary's right. Calafiori was always there, ready and waiting, holidays notwithstanding, and now he comes back for a medical at London Colney. He'll probably miss the Bournemouth game, but you might see Calafiori against Manchester United the following game then, and Lawrence is going to both of them. So there you go. Hi, Riddy. How's things? Hope you're doing well. Hein, Setford, and Nygaard on the plane. There's a lot of academy players as well, Gary, on the plane, due to a lot of big players on holidays now due to the Euros, Gary.
Yep. No, I think it's actually good. It's probably actually good.
Yeah. So
Because we need to find out if those, what those players got about them. From what I saw from Inweri and Skelly last summer, I liked it. Sago Jr. probably also will get some additional minutes more than he got last time, because I feel like we need to have some academy players at least being part of the squad in terms of getting more playing time than we've seen over the last couple of years. Just to, because I think they're good. They just need the time. Whether they turn out to be worthy of Saka status is one thing, but we still need a squad. All right, still need a squad, and not everybody's going to be at a Saka level. So, could they be at a Cedric level or better? You know what I mean? Like, you know what? Like that costs you nothing if it's a Cedric level. You can still use them, right? And if they don't want to leave, then they'll stay. So for me, I feel like we should utilize that the best way we can. Yeah.
Canterbury Gunner already said, I can't wait to see Calafiori. Hope he joins the U.S. tour. I think he will join a couple of days after the medical, which is probably booked for tomorrow. I would not be surprised if that was the case. AFC always says two things Arsenal are brilliant at: PR and merch. So we'll definitely get a good video out of the Calafiori arrival. Plenty of youngsters get minutes in America. All the Euros and Copa lads are resting. Yes, Lawrence?
Yeah, I just got a text from Arnie Slot. It says he's got a seat for you for the game on next Wednesday.
Yeah, indeed. And I think you were telling me Liverpool lost the game, but this is preseason. And
really they lost to Preston.
All right, Italy went out same time as Belgium and Ukraine, so he should be fine to join, I think. Exactly. And as Gary said, Calafiori has just come back from some holiday, some needed downtime. Sam Calafiori, he might be in action. We'll see what they're going to do with him. They'll probably get him into the U.S. tour a little bit later than the others and assess him I look forward to seeing Lewis Scully, Warren Waneri, and Sago Jr. get some minutes. And those were kind of some of those players who are, Gary, they're probably further along than the other academy prospects as well. They've had some time last season.
Yep. And in where you see him, he looks like he's having a little too much fun in football when he plays for the whatever the U21s and stuff. He needs a bigger challenge, I think. So that hopefully will happen if he gets to play with the first team. So yeah, yeah.
There's
And
there's a little bit
and
of,
there's a hole there that he could fill, right?
yeah, absolutely. If you think that Odegaard's played too many minutes last season, maybe Anwari can be that player behind Odegaard. Maybe Emil Smith Rowe or Fabio Vieira can be that player behind Odegaard, because Odegaard's a club captain and he's not going to play insignificant minutes. He's going to play big minutes this season, and we need somebody to take 400 or 500 minutes away from Odegaard this season. Agree, pretty
Yep.
much, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, all our players need to be. We need to have good rotation across the board. We shouldn't have players playing.
And that's
38 games.
that's the thing that's been funny when you go through social media, Gary and Lawrence. You're hearing about, well, who's Calafiori? Whose place is he going to take? It's not about places that are going to be taken. There will be lots of rotation this season, and it's not necessarily you're taking Timber's place or you're taking Ben White's place. You're going to be sharing minutes across positions. That's the way I see it, at least. We're in a position now where we're going to be locking down probably the best defense in the Premier League. And I know we need to arm ourselves in midfield and going forward as well. But to have players of the ilk of Timber and Calafiori to come in and complement what White has been doing is going to be amazing. And we should be able to utilize those players and have the strongest defense and one of the strongest metrics this season at the back. Keep things tight as well. Of course, we need to now address the forwards and midfield as well, right? The other gaps that we have going forward.
I believe we'll be getting a midfielder and a strikers, in my understanding, at least from what I've seen. So we'll see if that depends out.
Yeah. Sam said crappy Scotland beat Norway in the playoff. Martin Odegaard has had plenty of rest, indeed. So Martin will be ready to go again. Ray, did you watch the race today? Interesting team radio in the end at McLaren to sort the pole positions. Yeah. A team game. Team orders were implemented.
So did they made him take second place because of what? What was the reason? Like, did something
The
happen?
reasoning was that on the first corner, Piastri beat Norris to the first corner and was leading for most of the race. And they really should have brought Piastri in first, in my opinion, into the pits. They brought Norris in, and I thought they were mechanizing the switch for Lando Norris to win the race. And really, Lando Norris, in my opinion, should have gotten maximum points because it's a cutthroat professional business.
True.
And you're behind Max Verstappen and Red Bull, and you need to make up the gap. If not this season, next season.
Isn't Lando's name sounds more familiar to me than Piastri or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I thought he was the more senior person for McLaren, or at least in F1, right? So.
Yeah, he is. He's got more experience than Piastri as well. I don't really like. Saying that both of your drivers are equal in every Formula One.
So that means that Matt Stafford will step back and let somebody else, his teammate, win for him, right? That's what they mean, right? When they say that. And from what I can tell, it doesn't seem like that would ever happen. Like,
no,
I don't see Hamilton stepping back when he was running around. I mean, I did enjoy the fact that Steppen, tried to cut off Hamilton and ended up in the air. So that kind of gave me a laugh.
Yeah, Verstappen dove inside Hamilton, and Where was Hamilton meant to go in that situation?
No, he's
Um,
got he had him beat, and he's trying to cut over. I don't know. I mean, that's not a penalty. Don't you get like
I
deduct
think he
points
got
or
a
something?
10-second. I think he got a 10-second penalty, which
Oh,
may
okay.
not have affected his placing. Not quite sure about that one.
Yeah.
Well,
I think he would.
Um,
I think he finished fourth or something like that behind
yeah,
Hamilton. So
and I think Hamilton being a seven-time world champion when he goes to Ferrari, he should get preference over Leclerc, who has not won a championship yet next season. I'm a Ferrari person, so um, Sam said Ferrari Formula One is about exciting as watching snails across the garden. LOL. But
see, some people will say, look, if I'm watching American football and I'm watching, you know, football, I like American football because there's action on every play. All right. Formula One, no, not too much action once you get ahead. All right. When Max Verstappen has control of the race, it's pretty much over.
yeah,
Right.
though in recent times, Gary, in recent races, probably across the last 6 or 7 races,
Yeah.
Verstappen has his performances come back to the rest of the field. So now we're getting a situation where 5 or 6
Is he
drivers.
gonna lose out? You think he'll lose out the season-ending trophy, or is it that close?
It's about 80 points. So, and we're about halfway. It will.
Okay.
It would have to have a number of races like today where Norris was picking up major points and Verstappen was down the field a little bit in order to bridge that gap. Let's say in Premier League terms, Verstappen has a 7 point lead at the halfway point. So I might tell you there's still a little bit of ground to be covered there. Um, so yeah, no, it was a good race, and Verstappen is now in the middle of the pack, and maybe not able to drive as well and be foot perfect around that. Piastri deserved it. He worked hard the entire race. This year we've had 7 different winners, so not that bad to be honest. Um, sure, it seems to be more competitive for once, says Sam. Max was lying like a crybaby and then crashed because of his own fault, deserves the penalty. Yeah, that's the way I see it, really, as well. So you watched a little bit of it, Gary?
No, I just saw the thing on ESPN. Like ESPN, I was just checking the page, and it showed Verstappen up in the air as he tried to clip
Hamilton.
Hamilton.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Silverstone was good last race as well, and we're going to Spa Francorchamps in Belgium next. So we can get back to football in a second. Yeah, Spa next weekend, really. So that's a high speed circuit. So,
Mm.
but the McLaren are going strong right now. Olympics and Arsenal preseason time. Yeah, unless I was watching the Tour de France as well, and what those riders do, they put their body on the line for 21 days in a row with not many gaps in the road, and that was fascinating as well to watch this preseason. So, but now we're back,
I
Gary.
don't know if you said it, but I guess congratulations to Xander Schauffele winning his second major of the season.
Yeah, but
Pretty much
isn't he really good? He's really good though. Right?
Pretty well, he was behind and ran away with it in middle after the middle of the round.
Yeah.
Basically, when he kept, I think he had
Is
like
that the guy
he
that
like
had the
3 or
bag?
4.
Is
He
that the
had
guy that had the bag of crisps thrown at him?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that. I
Well, I read
don't
about
know about that.
a cyclist at the
that
joint
was a cycle.
to throw.
Well, Gary's talking about golf, and I was talking about cycling. Yeah,
Oh,
we're
okay.
just covering. We're just
Oh,
covering
okay.
a lot of.
Yeah, we're just going. We are. It's a wild world of sports. We're just hitting everything,
Yeah,
all the way,
I mean,
doing everything.
no real football going on, so you have to watch Wimbledon, you have to watch Formula One, you have to watch cycling,
Oh,
you have
Jesus
to watch
Christ.
golf.
I remember the days when the football season would end at the beginning of May and there was no football for 3 months. And you had to endure golf, cricket, Formula One, tennis, cricket, all these other mundane sports that would go on, and before football would start up again at the end of August.
Yeah.
And listen, these are the things, we're starved of football now. So whether the season starts now or in 4 weeks from now, that's debatable, and we will debate it. But so this Calafiori, let's just linger on Calafiori for a second. There's a couple of things to chat about this Calafiori deal, and it might be in light of Tomiyasu as well being injured. So there's some rumors going around. Maybe Tomiyasu could be sold. Well, maybe he's injured. Maybe he's going to need 3 weeks of treatment. I don't know what we can determine from all of the news that's going around right now, Gary.
Well,
But Calafiori coming in.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't make the trip. They did say, I've seen a report saying it's his knee and Tierney's hamstring in terms of why they didn't make the trip. So it's kind of sucks for him. It kind of sucks for him early because this is what we feared with him. He's always injured, right? And once again, he's injured again. And now we gotta wait and see how this pans out. Like, luckily, we're fine on the back line. We've always been fine, especially out wide of the fullbacks. So not that big of an issue. But they just re-signed him, and now he can't even make it to the preseason tour. What do they do? What are you doing in practice that the man can't even make it through practice to make it?
Yeah, and it was telling as well that they re-signed him for on a 2-year contract to protect future sale value, but also to not give him a long contract due to his injury history, let's say. It's a pity. Tomiyasu is a very, very good player, but you do wonder if we got Calafiori in, if one is going to leave, and would it be Kiwi, or would it be Zinchenko, or would it be Tomiyasu? Well, it's hard to tell right now at this point in time. There is rumors that maybe it is Tomiyasu, but it could be just rumors generated off the back.
Not anymore.
Him staying back.
Him and Tierney are in the same situation. Like,
Tierney.
can you sell damaged goods to the next person, right? I mean,
yeah, that's going to be a tough one with Tierney. We're going to have to probably take a loss on that sale as well. Sam said, being to Spa circuit in real life, no race happening during a driving holiday through Europe. The first chicane up the hill looks so much more scary in real life, that it is very steep as well.
They show when they put like a coin or something like that on some of those tracks, and it just rolls down. You're like, because you don't feel, it doesn't seem like it's sitting at that sort of an angle, but they are.
Yeah. Welcome, Colonel and Moss, who joined us as well.
Yes.
How bad is the Tomiyasu injury? He has had the rest the entire summer. It's 2 to 3 weeks out. So when you factor 2 to 3 weeks out, you're maybe a week away from the start of the season, and you're not even match fit. We can't really count on Tomiyasu for the first 3 or 4 games, I would say, at least. There's going to be a lot of games to share around on everybody, but it's not looking good for Tomiyasu. So
this is the same thing happened last season, right? I mean, Zinchenko was injured going into the season, and Timber got his shot and looked pretty, good for the most of the preseason, and then he was out. So that left back position, I don't know. We've got 4 or 5 plays it seems that can play there, and if we really want to go down that road, we can say Saka can play down there as well. You know what I mean? So yeah, we need to find somebody who can actually hold on to that spot for more than it seems more than a month.
Sam said Tierney and Tomiyasu are physio room buddies. I bet the physio room has a statue of Diaby outside as well, Abu Diaby. So he'll miss preseason and possibly Wolves and Villa. Definitely, really. Don't factor Tomiyasu until about September, I would say. We have that international break as well. It will help when it comes to players who are injured. Colonel Ward said, I went to a spa once. Had some Thai bird. Okay, there you go. All right, secret agent on the Calafiori deal was probably Jorginho. He always wanted to go to Arsenal, and rumors that he turned Juventus down, Real Madrid down, and an unknown Premier League team, probably Chelsea, who were always in our business anyway. Um, the other thing as well, Gary and Lawrence, is there's a sell-on fee that we've had to negotiate with Bologna for 10%. So if Arsenal sell Calafiori on in a number of years, Bologna is going to get 10% of that deal.
Yeah, and the way that we sell players, that might be absolutely nothing for them. So,
Yeah, not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. So, Lawrence, what do you think about the Calafiori deal?
Well, I believe it when I see him in an Arsenal shirt, sitting
Yeah,
at a
that's
desk
fair.
signing his contract.
That's
You
fair.
know, I'm just tired. I'm just tired of all this gossip. You know, these dickheads online pasting his face on an Arsenal shirt.
Yeah.
His ex-girlfriend says he's joined us already. I don't believe any of that shit. The only time I believe a player has joined us when there's an actual picture of him sitting in a room at London Colney or the Emirates with Arteta and Edu either side of him, and he's signing the contract. And he's either wearing an Arsenal shirt or
you
he's
made
got
me
a
you made me
shirt
say
with
this.
his
You
own.
old people with your old ways. You know, until I see it on the teletext or the
I don't
newspaper
believe
on
it.
the radio,
Yeah.
nah, I don't believe it's
But
going to happen.
that's
We're
in
it's
a
a new
way.
age.
That's
It's a new age. Information comes
yeah.
faster than you ever believe. And
Yeah.
we find, you find out from people's hairdressers and their, the nail salons and anything
Gary,
else you can think of what's going on in the world today.
Yeah.
Gary, if you believe anyone,
Get off your front stoop, man. Get off your lawn.
Gary, you're one of these
Get in the house. Get
ITK
on the
people,
internet.
aren't you? Gary, you're one of these ITK people, aren't you?
No. You know
No.
what?
Listen, I think
There are legitimate people out there who report on the news who are pretty much 99% correct. When Ornstein says it, it's pretty much 99% probably going to happen.
I
Especially
don't even
these
believe
days with
Ornstein
Arsenal.
half the time. Some of the shit he
When
drinks.
is the last time he said something that hasn't come to fruition?
yeah.
It's
I
not
don't know. I don't follow him.
exactly. So you
I've
don't
got a
even know.
life.
How do
I
you?
don't follow people.
This is interesting though, right? Because we all have opinions and this is how it's reflected in social media, Gary. You have everybody saying things and they're just giving their viewpoint. They're just telling you how they feel. But then somehow those people get attacked for giving their opinion on an issue. So when it's Arsenal, we go all the way from people who really believe the in the nose all the way to someone like Lawrence who's like, I really don't believe it until I see the player. The shirt is held up high and there's a press conference and a video to go along with it. So I just think it's very indicative of what we see in social media, and some people get attacked for their opinions on social media. I think we should learn to just be able to interact intelligently with people and not want to fight people all the time.
It's not a question of attacking people, Ray. It's just people who just put stuff online that's made up, right? They know it's made up, thinking people are going to fall for it. Maybe there are people that are gullible and will fall for that sort of stuff. I don't. Okay. I mean, I've learned from previous occasions. Oh, we were going to sign Julian Draxler. All he had to do was show up and put pen to paper. Oh, we were going to sign Kareem Benzema. That was a done deal. We were going to sign Luis Suarez for 40,000 at 40 million and £1. We were going to sign Igwe. Whatever became of those deals. We had dickheads back then posting pictures of all these players in an Arsenal shirt when they were nowhere near signing for us. I'm a realist, and as I said, the only time I believe that a player is signed for us is when he's sitting at that desk with Mikel Arteta and Edu, and he's signing his contract, or he's holding a shirt with his name on the back of it.
Right.
All this other crap that happens today where you got people following players' aeroplanes in the sky to see how far they are away from London. You know, these people
Yeah.
need to get a fucking life.
Yeah.
Some people say that
Fair.
about us. You follow Arsenal, you need to get a life. Everything
Yeah,
isn't about
people that
Arsenal. You know what I mean? There's levels to this thing. Your level isn't at the level of these crazy people who are following their planes and trains and automobiles to figure out where somebody is. But you're still on that. You're part of the group. You're part of the group, no matter how far you've gone crazy
Mhm.
with it. You know what
Mhm.
I mean?
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
kind of
Exactly.
that's my thinking. You're not
You're
as crazy
part of
as
the
some of us,
family.
but you're
That's
crazy as well.
that's exactly it. You're
oh,
part of the family.
what
You're part of the family. It's like in Fever Pitch. The kid
what
says,
what what what
"You
annoys
found."
me? I'm in a family with Tony and Gary.
I'm
How
sorry, dude. That's
fucking
how it goes.
scary is that?
That is scary. You know what?
They're here.
Don't even conclude me with Tony. The fact that Tony is associated with any of us, that's where you just start with that
Part
one.
of part of the Arsenal family. Part of the Arsenal family, Lawrence. And it's like in Fever Pitch, and it says you're invited into a very welcoming world where people will, welcome you to being an Arsenal fan, and that's important, I
That,
think.
that
But
comment there from Riddy is the thing. You know that nobody's going to do that, right? The people there saying that Arsenal's been dragging their feet, nothing's happening, won't even bring up if and when he signs Lawrence. That guess what? Arsenal did a good job and they got a good player, and it wasn't like he only had Arsenal looking at him, right? The other teams are looking at him. Everybody says he's a good player, and Arsenal's the one that got it across the line. Same thing with Rice, right? Rice was wanted by other teams. They would have paid for him. He chose to go one place, right? So they closed the deal. They should get some praise for that, I think.
yeah,
So we'll
exactly.
see.
And I think that Edu did a good job. When you think about this, guys, 40 million pounds for a player of Calafiori's ilk, and then you have, for instance, Man United paying 60, 70 for a prospect. They've paid a lot of money. I think it was 50 million for Euro, right? And that's a prospect. Trying to follow along the same path of a Saliba acquisition that we had done 3 or 4 years ago. Um, so there are levels to this, and Arsenal's acquisition of Calafiori, I think, is a good one. And I think the way Arteta wants to deploy him will be very, very interesting as well. And I can see him fitting in really well with us. So, yeah, as Rudy said, if those reports are true, then we must give credit to our recruitment team. Exactly. Um, what else we got here? Well, the story goes Calafiori only wanted Arsenal from the start, and those are the kind of players that Mikel Arteta is really interested in. You want to come to Arsenal, you've got to be 100%. Um, Nico Williams signed a new extension with Atletico Madrid. I'm not sure if that I saw something like that, but I questioned if it was even true. Uh, it may not be true. Has Ray got Amina Bed on the panel today? Who's that?
Don't
Uh,
go there. Don't go there.
okay.
I think
Uh,
I don't know. It's one of those play on words or what, but
oh,
yeah. But you've already said it. I don't know if you said it correctly.
yes, I didn't say it correctly, so it's okay. Brownie followed Bale's airplane. Just so fortunate it was going to LA. Um, Brownie, you should now, based on your infamous 8-hour sleep vlog, YouTube debut. We've all been there before. Okay. Um, Basel will also receive a hefty check. I think it's 50%. Yeah, and that's the kind of thing Bologna. They wanted to go back. They wanted to go back and renegotiate, um, and that was not possible. You know.
Yep.
So okay. So do you think this Calafiori deal, Gary, means anything in terms of outgoings, Kiwi or Tamiesa? We kind of touched on it a little bit, but do you think am I scaremongering about Tamiyasu? Do you think because I think we have enough now, but not too many players
No, I mean, we've
in the
got
back.
depth in every spot. on that back line. We're too deep on every one of those, right? And that's I think we're too deep everywhere. If you want to just slot everybody into one position, right? If Fiore is our left back and Tomiyasu can play behind him, for example, or Zinchenko, you pick one, right? Kirior could play behind Gabriel. White could play behind Saliba, but I don't like taking a starter and saying he's our backup, right? It's got to be probably Tomiyasu, but once again he's out again. And on the right back you got White, and you've got you got Timber. So Timber, Tomiyasu, Kirior can play pretty much, can hold up on that back line, right? Zinchenko's really stuck to the left, right? So if you talk about the other three spots, I think we got it covered in terms of at least one player deep there, right? So I think that's a good thing. If we don't make any changes, that's good. If they have to make them changes because of money, that kind of sucks, but so what? We'll be all right there. And I think Sago Jr., where does he play?
He's sort of a right winger. He could be a Saka. Could be a Saka, Nelson kind of slot in right there. Because when we played Brentford last year in the Carabao Cup, he played in that right wing slot where Saka plays. But yeah, it's kind of frightening when you look at it. The transformation that we've undergone. I've mentioned it a number of times. We had players like Mustafi. We had players like Socrates. We had Cedric.
They showed the back line that we had in 2021, and as you said, like the name. Oh, I gotta see if I can find it here. But the names there are scary compared to where we are today, right? In terms of and Mustafi wasn't in that list. You know what I mean? Like Mustafi wasn't even one of those starters on that squad. So it's like, yes, it was bad, but it was even worse because Mustafi also started for us many a game on that back line, right? So
definitely.
Yeah, because you had Holding, you had
Chambers.
I don't know if it's Chambers.
Cedric.
If I can find this thing, I don't know where it was. If it was on the X or Twitter or whatever it's called, or on Instagram. But yeah, it was crazy looking at that back line from 2024. Oof.
So we completely overhauled our defense.
Yes, everybody's gone, man. Everybody's gone.
Yeah, completely overhauled the defense and probably made it one of the best defenses in the Premier League going into a new season. News today, albeit may not be true, Kevin De Bruyne has agreed personal terms with Saudi club. It could be something. He's on record as saying there is a decent amount of money to be made with one of your last contracts in professional, few of your last contracts in professional football going to Saudi Arabia as well. So Canterbury Gunner is asking, do you think we can get 100 million from player sales this summer? How realistic is that? I think it's quite realistic. If you imagine at least 4 players going, you could definitely hit 100 million. If it's 3 players going, it might be a little bit tricky to hit 100 million. Depends on how many players you think are leaving.
Yeah.
But somebody like Eddie Nketiah could probably go to Marseille, and Marseille are quite keen on him for about 30 million. Some talk about Emile Smith-Rowe being made captain in that behind closed doors game yesterday. If you make him captain, would you not feel that he's going to be part of your squad going forward with Emile Smith-Rowe? So there's a lot really to happen yet. Ramsdale has to find the home as well. We brought a player in, and Tommy, what's his name? Tommy Setford, right? He's going to be the academy goalkeeper. Lawrence will probably see Carl Hein play against Bournemouth, and he might actually take both of those games.
Yeah. Now I was going to say, I was just looking at Arteta's first match was against Bournemouth, and I assume the back line was, you had Leno in goal, Maitland-Niles, David Luiz, Socrates, and I think Saka. I don't know who else would have played on that.
That's back, yeah.
I think it was Saka that played on that.
He was early days.
Yeah. Yeah, Torreira, Xhaka, Nelson, Ozil, Aubameyang, and Lacazette all in the starting lineup. So that's that's where we were. But Saka on the back line is something we don't even talk. We try not to talk about, but it's a rare occurrence that'll happen on a regular. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Welcome to Stan, waking up with us today. Hope
yeah.
you're doing well, Stan. So yeah, how realistic will those sales be? It all depends on how well Edu can do his business. Question: what are your thoughts on the lad Obi Martin leaving us for Man United? Listen, I think we tried everything. You know,
I think that for me is bad management. Like to get to the point where he could just walk out the door. Like either he should have been gone beforehand if you didn't think you were going to be able to sign him, right? Even if you got a little bit for him with some maybe sell-on clause or something.
Yeah.
But the fact that it got to this point where like, nah, I don't want to sign with you guys. Like those type of discussions, you need to like. I feel like you need to know this before that player walks out the door. You know, I know he had a really good year, and it was a little probably too late to try to steer his mind at that point because he's in control at that point, right?
Yeah.
When that 6th, 7th goal went in, you know, his agent's like, we can do whatever we want now. Going to Manchester United doesn't, you know, I think they can't sign him either. He can still come back to Arsenal you know, if it was all about the money and stuff like that, because he can't sign with a Premier League team until he turns whatever age it is. And
Oh. Okay.
so it's not, it's another thing where it's like that whole Amari Hutchison thing where he left to go do what? To go out on loan anyways.
Yeah.
Why would so basically so you get sell a bag of goods, but the all you've done is change the address, but the situation's exactly the same. You know, no Premier League
I
team
think you
can
can
take
go
him,
to.
right?
I think you could go overseas because I know Bayern Munich were
Fine.
chasing him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I think the rules are different if it goes overseas.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
But,
I kind of feel like
I think
Arsenal did not sell him right, like sell him the Arsenal program, the Arsenal way, the future with Arsenal, and all of that, to where he feels like he need like what like if his agent's in control of it. Yeah, whatever. What can you not see with Arsenal that would go? Nah, I think I just want to walk away. You know, it's only going to be about the money because it's the only thing that can be different. Like, where do you want to be? Do you want to be coming off the bench when Arsenal is, is sealing a win that could win him a title, win him a trophy?
Yeah.
That's kind of
Yeah.
where he would be, right?
Yeah.
If he stays and stuff like that. So I kind of feel like Arsenal didn't do a good job selling what they're offering in terms of the academy. So that's kind of where I'm a little bit more upset than anything else. I think once you lose control, you're done for.
Yeah,
So,
it's happened to quite a few players now, Gary. What's going on in the background? You know.
yeah, well, isn't Mertesacker in charge of that?
Well, Mertesacker would be. He's a coach over it, but I mean, all of these players go in and sit down with Edu presumably, and go in there with their agents and discuss things, how things are going at the club, and to allow certain players to essentially run their contracts down to the point where they can leave. And I know it happens a lot at academy level. There's a lot of movement. We just picked up an England international from Ajax for 1 million. So there's a lot of flow between the clubs when it comes to academy players, and I think Aston Villa have been involved in something like that before PSR was reported at the end of last month. So these things happen.
Yeah, like I said, I feel like they should either he should have been sold sooner, or they need to do a better job selling. Like I said, I'm gonna keep repeating myself, but it's more of it happens. But I feel like that he should have been either out the door sooner. That's all.
Yeah, and as Brownie says, too much player power nowadays. The player refused to sign a contract, refused to move. Before then, what kind of club?
You can sell the player before you get to that. Like, you have to have some sort of idea whether or not you feel like you can re-sign a player. Like a player going into their last year, you don't have any control, and that's why you never let that happen, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you see player movement even in the teenage years, right? We brought in players that are 16, 17 ourselves, right? And why do you do that? Sometimes because you fear you're going to lose them for nothing, so you might as well get something and maybe get a. I don't know if you can get a sell-on clause or anything like that because they're not professionals yet, but get something for them. When they walk out the door for nothing, then you've created nothing. These are the type of players you should be holding on to, right? And then you sell them, and then it's like it's a Cole Palmer type thing, right? You're selling them and they never played, but it's all about potential. Well, everybody sees the potential now. They don't want to pay. Yeah.
Gary, a player has the ultimate decision if he doesn't
In the
want to
last
move,
year of their
then
contract.
he'll move.
What about prior to that?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Not like
Yeah.
the last year of the contract, you have no control.
Yeah.
They just have to and that's why I'm saying they have two things. Either they move them on, or where they are is actually the best place to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you can't convince them of that, you should know that before you get into that last year of the contract. The
And
player has ultimate decision, but if you're like, well, if you want to play, you need to go elsewhere. Players get traded all the time, all right?
and here's the thing as well. We are going to a place where we want to be and we should be the best team in the land, and we should be competitive across 4 competitions. Maybe academy players are not that top standard. We're talking about semifinals of a Champions League. We're talking about easily the top 2 in the Premier League, and that's the standard that these academy players have to bridge their skill set to. And not every one of them is going to be Bukayo Saka that they can just slot into our first 11 and be seamless. Even one area, he's going to need to uh, grow as well within the team. But Canterbury Gunner said one area himself is a perfect example. We did manage to tie him down, uh, give him some minutes as well, and that's something that I've been pretty open about. Mikel Arteta's got to be more more okay with giving minutes to these players. You know,
I don't even know if it's minutes, but there needs to be
a
they need
plan.
to see they need yeah. I don't think there was a plan that he liked.
Yeah.
And then if he didn't like it, then that means he's not right for your academy anymore, right? And we've seen players that just don't cut it sometimes in academy, and they move on and go somewhere else, right? So
And Brownie says, remember when Saka himself acted like that during the last few months of his contract? I mean, he didn't act like that, but he acted in some aspects.
I don't know how Saka
Like
acted in the last
a negotiation was
if
going
I
on.
recall, he was playing as a teenager for Arsenal and getting substantial minutes for a player at his age. So it's not the same for
Yeah.
me. I don't think
Well,
it's the same at all. Like Manu is getting lots of minutes as a teenager. Totally different situation, for him than it would be for Odie Martin, who's got no minutes. Balogun, no minutes basically as in an Arsenal shirt in a Premier League match, right? They don't really have any connection and see any reason to stay. So I don't think it's the same.
yeah,
Saka was given confidence from his from the prior from Emery, right?
and some people are going to compare. They'll compare Man United and Ten Hag to Arsenal and Mikel Arteta. The
Yeah.
difference is about 6 places in the Premier League.
Yeah.
You know, and I think maybe a Man United and Ten Hag is the personality of the manager or the coach being Ten Hag is probably more open to blooding younger players.
Yeah.
Mikel Arteta, he's probably not there yet in his managerial career.
So the thing is, he's like, what was he doing when he was at Manchester City? Like, where is this? Wasn't he taking notes?
Yeah, he
From a
was.
manager, did he not see how the academy was being used and how players were going through that system and either coming into the squad or being sold? Like, he must have known of who Cole Palmer was before we did, right? Because if he's a second behind Pep, he would know something about that. Name would have crossed his line. Somebody name would have come up. Is kind of what I feel, So I kind of felt like, nah, yeah. Like I said, I think different situation when you're not getting minutes. There is no loyalty there. So why would you? So you have to look out for you, especially when you have control. Like if they, like I said, I don't think they sold it right. Sometimes I think it's a selling thing. You got to sell Arsenal to someone who's going through your program and that wants to stay on, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it kind of sucks that the way English football is set up, that a player can just can't sign a professional contract with you until a particular part in age, as opposed to other leagues where they can sign right away. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. You're allowing your local talent to just walk out the door. They can go become professionals elsewhere. Doesn't sound right. Doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. So players are flying out today. Today, I think it is. We have the list of the squad players. I think there's a good healthy number there that are academy players, as mentioned earlier, due to the Euros. And I think I have on the 25th of July, which is 4 days from now, you'll have Gabriel Magalhaes joining, you'll have Martinelli joining, and you'll have Havertz joining as well. These are the players who, maybe didn't go as far in the respective competitions. So we're going to see this phase in now in the next 2 to 3 weeks of these players. Players who are still on vacation or holiday: Ramsdale, David Raya, so two goalkeepers. Saliba, of course, went all the way to the semifinal. Declan Rice and Saka as well, the English players. So we're going to see a little bit of a chopping and changing of teams in this preseason, Gary and Lawrence, as we go on. So it's going to be a little bit difficult to navigate. He's Swedish and only been with us for 2 years, so really has no allegiance to Arsenal. That's Cheeto Obi Mikel, I think. Is anyone paying for those match passes for the friendlies? No, not doing that. What's that, Lawrence?
I thought he was Danish.
Maybe I actually think he might be Norwegian. So there you go. There's three Scandinavian teams.
Let's see what he is, because you guys don't seem to know anything here. Yeah, so
Or is he
Denmark.
Nigerian?
He's born in Denmark. So
all right. So you were right, Lawrence. You were right. Danish.
I'm always right. I'm like Gary.
You know what? No, Lawrence, go back, lay that down. I think you're still dreaming.
Hey, even a broken watch can be right twice a day,
no,
right?
He's not a broken watch. He's a busted clock. There's no, you can't even see the arms.
I am an encyclopedia when it comes to Arsenal.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
You asked me a question. I was around when the Dial Square was around, so.
Yeah. And don't make him take out his box of crayons, Gary. He's got a box somewhere. Yeah. I know he has.
Brownie, I hear what you're saying, but he can go to Bayern Munich right now and sign a contract. Mm-hmm. So whatever you're saying is not 100% correct. That's the whole point. He could go to Bayern Munich right now and sign a contract. Whether or not it's the same thing, it doesn't kick in until he's 17. He can sign a contract though. Mm-hmm. So that's been a whole thing the whole time that he's been out there shopping his wares.
So Gary, is there anything that's strange about the squad that's been named? I know Sam mentioned Charlie Partino.
Players not there. Yeah.
Charlie Partino did not make it.
Yeah, that is strange. Even if you're trying to sell him, right?
1 year left. Yeah. 1 year left on his contract.
Maybe maybe they're in that maybe they're trying to be a little more cutthroat. If we put you out there, and you either get hurt or something like that, it's worse for us, though, right? I think everybody else on that squad. Patino did not make.
No, he didn't make it.
Yeah,
he's the one outlier that you would say that you've got. He's probably in between academy players and first team players. He's got a couple of seasons under his belt, playing on loan with Swansea and other teams, Blackpool, I think. So probably the particular purpose in doing that, Gary, was to physically build him up a little bit to be able to play in those leagues as well. And so maybe they just don't have faith in Charlie Patino, and maybe he's a player they're going to sell at some point, maybe this season as well. Is there anything else that's
I didn't even think about players that aren't on that list, right? Because
yeah,
a lot of the players have left, prior to this anyway. So
we got
I feel like a
Sammy
lot of players.
Laconga
Yeah,
left, Tavares is left.
yeah, and like
You know?
a lot of academy players have left as well. Those that could just walk for free, right? They've all left as well.
Yeah.
So I think at least 3 or 4 or 5 players maybe from the academy have walked away, right? Because
Yeah.
they don't see a light at the end of the tunnel, and they've gone to English teams, right? Some Premier League, some Championship. So I
Those
kind of
are
feel like, I like to think everybody, all the other teams are experiencing this, but I don't feel like it. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah.
thoughts on the new away kit. So the away kit, right? That's the one with the green and the red
That
in it.
one.
Not really a fan of the away kit, I have to say.
Uh,
You know,
our away kit should always be yellow and blue. Keep all the fancy shit for the third kit.
yeah.
I mean, I'm old school. Red and white for the home kit, yellow and blue for the away kit.
Yeah, and look, last year we had the blue and yellow. It was blue and yellow last year.
Well,
But
oh god,
had the
like
wavelength. It had those wavelengths
you
on it.
needed sunglasses to look at that kit.
It grew on me. I have
Oh,
to say, it grew on me as the season wore on, and we won games in it. So,
no.
well, what do
I've
we
seen
think
some.
about the home kit? What do we think about the home kit, Gary and Lawrence?
Well,
I,
I've got the home kit.
yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't.
I've
It
got.
doesn't like make me do flips or anything like that.
So what I don't like about the bottom of the blue kit is it doesn't go red all the way down.
Hold on a second.
It doesn't carry the red all the way down. There's a curvature on the back of the strip, and I think
Okay.
Lawrence is going to grab it. Can you show us the bottom of that, Lawrence, and the back of it, and the bottom? Because
Yeah.
I think there's
Hold on.
it's like a round scalloped.
Excuse me.
Detail.
Excuse me while I do. Hold on a minute.
Modeling. Yeah, so you got that white strip at the bottom.
Okay, that's kind of weird when they did
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's
Like
my
it's-
only criticism of it.
Yeah.
Criticism of it myself. It's
Yeah.
like the '91 kit.
I like that
Yeah, I
aspect of it, the 91 kit, but
Yeah.
I don't like the aspect where the red is not carried all the way down to the bottom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw Brownie's comments about the contract situation. Like I said, my first concern with the Obi Martin is that we didn't sell Arsenal, and that's why he doesn't want to stay. Sounds like it comes down to money. I guess we can sell him we can get him to sign a contract as well, but he doesn't want to sign it. He wants to go for the more money. We saw how that worked out for Amari Hutchinson. He got the more money, ended up going through the same thing he went through with Arsenal. So Arsenal just lost out on some money there. They're going to lose out on money this way as well. But like I said, my problem is, what is there not to like about Arsenal that you really want to go for whatever extra money you're going to get?
Yeah, and the other part about the strip on the shorts have a black stripe going through it as well.
And is there black on the top?
Well, it's blue. It's Blu-ray.
Is it blue? Okay. So you have black on the top here on the shoulders, Gary, and on the sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
And Lawrence can show you some more as well.
Yeah.
I've seen it on the sleeves and stuff. Yeah.
But on the shorts, shorts, you got that a blue strip.
Is Arsenal? Where is Arsenal colors blue and like home?
Like, exactly. I mean, there's a little.
Isn't our Arsenal colors are red and white, right? Unless I'm missing something.
Yeah.
Is it red, white? Is there another color?
Yellow.
No, I mean on the crest. The only blue that you see at Arsenal is on the crest. If you look at the actual crest, there's a little dash of blue on the corner.
Yeah.
but not
Like,
enough to
if
put
you
it on
put-
the shirt
like,
for me.
That one behind you, Gary, I really like that one. It's the yellow and blue
Oh
one
yeah, it's
right
just a
behind you.
towel. That's just a little
That's
a
a
little
towel.
Don't
decal
call
or
it the
something like
Well,
that.
we had a strip. We
Don't
had a
call-
strip that kind of decal.
Don't call it the Bruce Banana. That'll do my head in. If I hear someone call it the Bruce Banana, because
What
I
is it?
bought it when it first came out, and
What-
everyone called it the migraine kit or the roadkill kit. So whoever's called it the Bruce Banana kit has been eating too many
Yeah,
crayons.
see, once again with this old man, this is what it was back in my days. I walked to
Yeah, back
school
in my
up
day.
and down both ways. You kids don't know what it's all about.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember going to the Arsenal with 20 quid in my pocket. I could go onto the North Bank, have 4 pints of beer, have fish and chips, and still have change from that 20 quid note.
Right.
Yeah.
Who gave you the 20 quid note? Your parents, or did you earn it?
Her Majesty's government.
Okay, all right, that's all right. So yeah, no, that's
20
good.
quid,
It's
that
good.
sounds like a lot that sounds a lot of money. Well, how much did
Back-
you get back? Like
Back
hopefully
then,
more
yeah,
than 10 quid, hopefully.
it was coins. It wasn't that there was no paper going
No
back.
paper going back.
There was no
That sounds like some
Venmo. There
really
was no
expensive
Venmo.
fish and chips,
There
man.
was no DoorDash.
Look, when
You had to use.
when you were buying those fish and chips, though, were there actually newspapers or tablets? Like,
Yeah,
what
there's
they had
actually
they had the stone
newspapers.
tablets, didn't they?
Stan said, for all we know, Cheeto could have grown up in Denmark supporting United.
Very
Yeah.
true. Like I said,
Ireland.
it just kind of sucks that we haven't been able to sell him on what we're doing. And if you look at the strikers in the program, there are none. There are none. So he's like, once again, he's like the the Balogun of the youngsters that could come up and maybe make a claim for a spot.
Yeah.
He don't. Arsenal doesn't want him. Either Arsenal doesn't want to sell him that way, or he doesn't feel he's got a chance, and that's sad.
Stan said, young players who
Yeah.
physically develop quicker will look better because they're bigger and stronger than their peers. But what happens when they start to play with men their own size?
Well, we don't know. You got to test the risk you take when you have an academy. Until you actually play them, you'll never know. That's why you do that, and you can take it, and it's a free risk, right? You don't lose anything.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Yeah, right,
I think
right.
Lawrence, go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, do you remember the Wimbledon ball boy kit when it first came out?
No.
The green and navy in 82.
Yes. Yeah. 92 was
Yeah,
it? When
no,
was it?
82.
80. Well,
82.
I wouldn't have remembered that 82. No.
Oh, okay. Bit before your time. Okay.
Yeah. 86, 87, I can talk. You know what I mean? Not 82.
Yeah.
So yeah, listen, I think a lot of these academy players will be going for the experience that they gain. I don't know if they're going to play a whole lot of minutes. The Bournemouth game will be the first game up on Wednesday. Is it, Lawrence? Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday they play Bournemouth, and then Saturday Man United at SoFi. I'll be there, both of them.
Right. So you may see more players coming in on Saturday than more recognizable players. Yeah. Gabriel may play, Marinelli may have a part to play, and Havertz may have a part to play. But the likes of Rice and Saka, Raya, Saliba, and Ramsdale will come later. So anything else pops out of you, Gary, today?
No. I mean, as far as the players that are gone, like I said, I just be happy to see people play and see kind of what they have to offer. And you're not expecting to get much out of it, but you see good things in preseason. I think we saw enough from. We've seen highlights that have been pretty good going into a preseason match, right? And that some of it we did see in the Premier League, and when the season started. So I kind of feel like it's not a wasted opportunity for some of these players. They get to go out there and show whether or not they're worthy, right? So
yeah,
you know.
And some of the players will possibly be looking at moves as well, Lawrence. So there's lots of
Yeah.
different motives when you go on the USA tour here. Okay, you go to enjoy the surroundings. You go and you get your fitness in. You get your legs underneath you for a month from now. You're ready to go in the Premier League.
Mhm.
And maybe you're not 100%. I don't think any team has all of the players 100% ready to go or to start
No,
season.
no.
The demands on the players now, as you said, Lawrence, before we went live, the demands on the players going from tournaments to friendlies to back into qualification, international level, and then to manage uh, club games and Champions Leagues, where we're going to have 2 extra games in January as well. The demands are just growing and growing on players, and this
Yeah,
is
I
why we
mean,
need. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say I wouldn't be surprised if we pick up some more injuries before the season starts. It's just not some of these players have played non-stop football for over a year and a half. They've had no break, as we know. Players used to have a break. Players used to have like 2 months off, 2.5 months off before they were back in for pre-season training. And look what has happened this year. The previous season ended at the end of May, beginning of June with the Champions League final, and then it went straight into the Euros that ended last week. And before you can say Jack Robinson, we've got a new season a few weeks away, and now teams are getting ready for pre-season. So
Yeah.
I keep saying this, there is going to come a point where you're going to have seasons overlapping one another because FIFA and all these other authorities are cramming too many Mickey Mouse tournaments that we don't need just for money, just to make extra money.
Yeah, and Gary, we've seen to Lawrence's point, we've seen Odegaard and Havertz develop some kind of a romance with their partners as well. Uh, Toward the end of the season and before the Euros, and Kai Havertz just was able to get married there during this week as well. So taking care of business a little bit outside of the season, but the seasons and the time off is less and less for the players, and you kind of have to grab the time when you can. Between the end of the season and having the report for national European championships. In the case of Kai Havertz, Odegaard with Norway has been lucky. He's had a little bit more time to
Yeah.
prepare for this season.
No, I was just looking at if we're talking about we've got some decent players in terms of players that should be able to play together. Our back line easily could be Ben White, Zinchenko, Timber, and Carrior, right? And you wouldn't like if they were playing in an early round of a domestic cup. That should work, right?
These are the combinations we need
Yeah,
to look at.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like in the midfield, you've got Partey and Jorginho. One of the two can start for us. You've got Erdegaard, but then the next step is who plays alongside, Martin, right?
Emil
That's
Smith Rowe, Waneri,
yeah.
Vieira.
We've got some, got a couple options there. In the front line, you got Trossard and Gabriel Jesus, and it's just a matter of are you putting Nelson out there on the right, or are you going to put Eddie through the middle? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in reality, we have what would be could be our stripped down number 2 team to some degree, because a lot of these players don't always start for us, right? So we only got, if you think about it, we've only really got 2, for me, legitimate starters who are going to play the bulk of the games for us this season, right? And Ben White and Erdegaard.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Trossard usually comes in and out. Gabriel we expect to come in and out. Partey and Jorginho are not regulars for us, right? They're not going to play all the games, so
Yeah,
this is a good experience for us. And going into the the season. It's good to get those guys some minutes. I mean, our main starters need mentally and physically to just chill out. You know what I mean? And be nice. And as you said, Lawrence, it's it's already affecting the leagues, right? No matter if you rush them back or you do it the right way and you give these players some rest, you're either going to get a player back too soon, they're going to get injured, or you let them sit and it takes a little while for them to get started back again, and you lose. You lose their form until after the right another international break after 2 games. What's that all about? What's that all about?
Yeah.
What's that all about?
I
You
mean,
just finished one international tournament a week ago.
I brought,
Give these guys a month, and then you're like, no, what? Your season starts 2 weeks later. We'll see you right back here again. And these are legitimate games that they need to play.
I brought this matter up with Ray in the last podcast. We're not going to see the likes of Rice and Saka and the players who've been at the Euros till after the international break.
And that'll be a North London derby. Yeah, that'll be the North London derby on September 14th. Let's say.
It's poor scheduling and poor management of these tournaments. I mean, like one, they probably don't need to have as many teams in them. Like Copa America had 4 less teams, I think, than Euros, right? So there's 2 less games for those who made it all the way through, right?
Yeah.
It probably doesn't need to be, you probably don't need to have, you probably didn't need to have Scotland in there, right? Ukraine in there. You probably didn't need to have them in there. You know what I mean? Because did it do well? Did it do much for the tournament as a whole? Probably not. All right. Make it a little bit shorter, because I think it needs to be shorter. It needs to be more competitive. So it needs to be,
It used to be.
Yeah.
It used to be 8 teams. In fact, I remember when it used to be just 4 teams. They just had 4 teams playing 2 semi-finals, and then the final.
Because they play all these qualifications anyways. You're right. You're playing all these qualifications anyways. Like you said, why don't you just play it to a 4, to the top 4, right? They play so many games, all these qualifications and all this stuff. You could do that, make it worth. Then the games actually stand for something, and they don't. Who cares about friendlies really anymore? Do you really need friendlies as much?
No.
Then you can scrap the Nations League, because that's a load of bollocks as well.
True.
Yeah, they tried to make those meaningful games when they don't need to be meaningful at all.
Yeah.
Stan has a question here. Do you think City's pending court case for 115 charges will put players off signing for them? And do we think news of Kevin De Bruyne possibly going to Saudi, but some people have said that's not quite the case yet? Where do you see all of that, Gary?
Well, I think it isn't as much the 115 as the latest, appeal or whatever that City has put on there, trying to get out of certain things. That shows a little desperation there from City's point of view. So you have the 115 sitting there, but then now they're like, well, let us do our business, which everybody feels is cheating as it is. So it looks a little bit desperate now, right? And they haven't bought any players outside of their own, those from their sister club, right? So they have not done anything there, and Rodri is going to be just as tired as everybody else, and we know how they do when Rodri's out. All right, so they're good, So yeah, this could be, and all these players want to go too. All right,
interesting times.
Yeah, so I kind of feel like I think they're either the way there's a calm before the storm, or as you say, players just don't want to go to City. You typically want to get into teams on their way up, right? Trending upwards, right? City trending downwards still gets you Premier League, it seems, but eventually that will probably stop too, right? Could happen this season. They only got 1 trophy this year, right? Right?
Yeah, didn't they sign a Brazilian the other day?
They only signed 1 player.
And it
was from a
Verona?
The only player that Girona is under their umbrella. So they didn't sign. My understanding is they didn't sign a player that wasn't inside the city umbrella or whatever you call it. So yeah, nothing else. Yeah, so they haven't gone out there and recruited a player that
And
other people can essentially get.
besides that, right, they're not going to be cleared. I mean, there's bound to be found guilty of one of these charges. There's no way if they can be found innocent of all 115 charges against them, I'll be surprised. And we know it's going to take another year before the verdict's going to come out. And if it goes against them, guess what? They're going to appeal. So that means another year before the appeal is done. So it's possibly going to be 2 or 3 years before we get an actual final verdict as to what we should do with them. I mean, personally, they should be kicked out of professional football altogether, be playing in the non-league. That's what I think, or what most people think. But I'm just worried about what punishment is going to be handed out to them.
Well, we'll know what's going to happen if and when Pep Guardiola jumps ship, because he'll be the first rat to leave this ship, if you know what I mean. Generally, when the ship's sinking, rats know.
Well, you're saying if the captain jumps off the ship, then you probably should have already been off the ship by then. It's too late.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Yeah. No, I was just saying, Stan, Girona is part of the City Football Group, so it's under the umbrella the same umbrella as City. So they're not really going out there recruiting players that they have a little bit of control of that. So it's not the same as and I don't know if that player is a significant piece to the puzzle that they have in terms of answering questions. Yeah. Yep.
All right, I think we can leave it there, Gary. That's what's going on. We'll know more on Wednesday night and Thursday night. Lawrence is going to be going to that Bournemouth game as well on Wednesday night, right, Lawrence?
Yeah, I wish I could go to the Liverpool game as well, so I can put in a word with you, Ray. You know, have a word with Arnie, see if he can help you out in some sort.
It's all a bit of fun, anyway. It's all a bit of fun.
Yeah.
We know what kind of red you wear.
The rumors are not true. The rumors are not true. I just, at least they're not plastic. That's where I'm coming from. So yeah, I wonder.
Is Lawrence taking his bed with him? Are you going to be laying in your bed watching the game? How are you going to get comfortable sitting in those chairs? They're not the same thing, man.
You know, Tony was the first one who instituted the bed, on the podcast. So there you go. Is Lawrence taking his bed with him? Probably not. Ray Ozardarni, definitely. All right. We'll leave it there. We'll see what's happening. Arsenal will have Calafiori. He'll be coming to the U.S. sooner or later. Probably medical booked for tomorrow. So, Gary, you might have some more information to talk about on your podcast tomorrow.
Yeah, check us out. Yeah, or what is it called? The
Yeah,
trip will be on tomorrow. So,
yeah, Lawrence,
come on, you gun.
Yeah, the season, pre-season has started. Right, that's what we'll say, Gary. Pre-season has started.
Yep, preseason has officially started now. The games are on, but the windows, like you said, have been open for.
Those who can't get to the game, they are on ESPN. The Liverpool and Man United games are on ESPN.
Hey, be on the lookout for Anne Hathaway out there, Lawrence. She's probably going to be.
Definitely.
She's going to be hanging out with Leandro for a little bit.
I'm gonna ask her. You know, why Leandro when you've got me?
I mean, yeah, exactly, right?
Who needs Leandro?
All right, this has been a summer full of sport. Some of us been watching golf. Some of us have been watching cycling, Wimbledon. What else is out there? Formula One, right? But
yeah, NASCAR's on now. Hamlin is in the lead for those who know what that means.
What about Truex? We got to follow Truex.
I don't see him on the list, so I don't know. Is he even racing or not? I know he's retiring and all of that stuff. So Yeah.
Look, as Stan said, Alonso will probably try and join now. Yeah. Well, if Martin Truex is driving right now, he won't be joining us at all. Thanks, everyone. Have a great week. And up the Gunner, up the Arsenal.
All
We'll,
right, see
we'll
you
have
guys.
some more Arsenal content to talk about on Thursday night. Lawrence will not be joining us, and that is fine, Lawrence. We'll see you on the next one, okay? Take care.
Yeah,
You
for
Arsenal.
sure.
Thanks for joining,
Take care,
guys.
lads. See ya.
And we'll
All
see
right,
you
see
on the
ya.
next one.